Who's asking the
We're good.
questions?
I'll ask him. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Benko, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Benko. All right. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you could have been doing something else today, but you're here with us. Magnificent people. As you know, as we discussed earlier, this is for basically a university project on the subject of marketing, and you know, since you're in that field, you know, we decided to choose you.
Well, thank you.
Do you have any questions before we begin, or any accommodations, anything like that?
No, thank you. I'm very accommodated.
Awesome. Some shots, anything like that? Gotta keep it professional, all right? All right. So first question: do you feel like you have to create a certain persona of an entrepreneur or marketeer in order to lead a successful businesses?
Do I have to create a certain persona? Well, you have to be a social chameleon when you deal with certain individuals, certain businesses. If you're dealing with a banker, a CPA, you want to make sure you're aligned based on who you're talking to. So creating a certain persona, yeah, you do have to create several personalities, but you shouldn't take away who you really are. You shouldn't disguise who you really are, but you do have to create a character or persona to make sure you're aligned with that certain individual you're dealing with.
Great answer. Thank you so much for that. But tell me, how much of that do you feel like was already inside of you though? Like did you feel like you have to just you've seen other people act a certain way and that made you act that way, or you just kind of just figured this is the best way to be, as far as image wise?
One thing I've learned from reading books, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I highly recommend that book. Teaches you how to deal with people, how to win people, not how to make friends, but how to win their thinking. When I first started, well, let me give you a quick background. I used to work for ADP, it was a Fortune 300 company 20 years ago in sales. And out of college, when I had my business card, it said district manager, right? Sounds very powerful. Mm-hmm. And when I would meet with CPAs, bankers, CEOs, CFOs, and it was intimidating. You look at their title, oh, this is a CFO, or this is a CPA, or he's X amount of years old, or he's this, or she's this ethnicity. So you start to get a little intimidated, or you're wondering, how do I get along with this individual? The more people you deal with at different ages, different demographics, the more comfortable you'll be. But you have to put yourself in that position. You can't just, let me be this person so they will like me. Well, how do you know that? Unless you've been around 20 people just like that person, 50 people just like this lady. Everybody has different personalities, but when you're around certain ones, you start to realize, you know what? If I act this way, I'm gonna win them over. If I say this, if I do this, if I make him laugh, if I'm serious, I have to be serious sometimes. Very monotonous. Mr. Johnson, how are you doing? That's not really me. But I have to do that to win them. And there's times when I have to be very jovial, energetic, enthusiastic, because they are. But that's me as well. So you have to become a social chameleon when working with all walks of life.
So you wear different masks.
I want to say a mask, right? I like you have to blend in. And to me, if you can get along with all walks of life and practice, don't be intimidated. When you go to a grocery store, when you go to a different business, when you deal with a banker, a lawyer, don't be intimidated. You will in the beginning. It's natural coming out of college. But the more you interact with them, the more confident you will be. And you'll know how to act around certain individuals, no matter what, again, no matter demographics, ethnicity, their age, their wealth, their power, their title. Put yourself around all walks of life and you will be comfortable in dealing with people.
Okay, great. Thank you. I should have started with these to begin with, just a little bit of background. But I'll just start now. What made you get into marketing?
Well, my background is I graduated from Cal State Long Beach, business administration, emphasis in marketing. Okay. I knew from day one I wanted to go to sales. When I was in college, a professor asked one question, would you rather sell boxes, cardboard boxes, or a refrigerator? And I was like, well, everybody raised their hand on a refrigerator because it costs more. But he said, no, you would rather sell boxes that you can put the refrigerator in, cardboard boxes. Because refrigerators last 10, 15, now they can last 20 years, plus years. And you only buy one per household. Boxes get reused all the time. And I like that. It made me think like, wow. In sales, I love being, it's based on performance. You know, most CEOs and CFOs of Fortune 300 companies came from a sales background. Because when you're in sales, here's your numbers. You can measure your performance. Plus, normally in sales, you're pretty outgoing and you can talk and you have to express your ideas in front of people, right? And if you can win them over, people see that and then you get promoted very fast. People know this guy, not only can he sell, but he can lead, he can speak, and he's inspiring and he's motivating. Those are the ones that rise in companies and become board of directors or own their own companies or the CFO or the CEO.
And I know you have your own companies as well. That I'm not really sure what kind of companies they are, but did you ultimately want to work for somebody else, or did you want to have your own company, or kind of be like a hybrid?
So when I worked for ADP, I was there for 12 years, again, Fortune 300 company. After maybe about the 10th year, I got bored, and I bought a franchise. It's called Senior Helpers. ADP is a payroll and human resource company. It's B2B. We're in sales. We go to different businesses. We work with bankers, CPAs, and lawyers. We have prospects. We have client calls we do. But I bought a franchise when I don't know if you even noticed.
Yeah, you told me.
I bought a Senior Helpers franchise. So I'm working at ADP from 7 in the morning, going on appointments, visiting clients, visiting lawyers, and in between, going to Hoag Hospital, visiting senior centers, 2 cell phones, 2 business cards, and at night, I was on sales calls for my other company, Senior Helpers, because we provided caregivers to people's homes for parents or people that needed help with incontinence care, meal preparation. They basically needed assistance to live. And I was coming home around 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and after a few years, I decided to sell that business. Then I left ADP and worked for an independent payroll company called APM, American Payroll Management. And I've known the guy for a while, and he promised me, if you do ABC, I'll give you XYZ. I go, well, if I'm gonna do this, I need a good service manager, and that's where Carrie Morrison came in. And I took her from ADP, she trusted me, went to APM, we built that company, created processes, improved the customer service, added services they never had, grew it, and then things happen. You learn a lot. Some bad mistakes from the owner, and I realized that this is not a good fit. And I realized I have a Fortune 300 background, a small independent payroll background. I'm going to take those 2 and start my own company. So I left and started HRX Payroll in the Valley. So I had HRX Payroll, but we started that company with a few partners of mine. But I also had my insurance, P&C, property and casualty. How that works, payroll and human resource, you go to different businesses and you sell them payroll and HR services. But you cross-sell insurance, the workers' comp, general liability, property insurance. And the beauty of payroll and insurance, it's a recurring revenue model. Once you get a client, you're always gonna get paid. There's always money coming in.
Okay.
As opposed to real estate, which you can make a lot of money in real estate, but real estate, you have to find the next client. You can sell a house and get X amount of commissions, but now you gotta find the next client. With payroll and insurance, once you have that client's for life, as long as you take care of them, customer service-wise, and every time you get paid on it, so.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then just rewinding, HRX, we grew too fast, and we decided, our customer service model kind of fell apart. So I started interviewing other payroll companies with the thought process of outsourcing customer service, but all the payroll companies I met with just wanted to buy us. And when we met with Telepayroll, it ended up becoming a good fit because of their credibility. They've been around since 1963. They do payroll for large corporations, but they could also work with small companies. We decided to sell to Telepayroll because of, it was just a good fit. And I wasn't planning on working for them, but they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. And as a business consultant for Telepayroll, I also sell insurance for my company. And it's a good fit. It's a win-win for both companies.
Wow. That is a win. All right, we just take intermission really quick.